Good morning. It is 7:04 on a Friday, the first Friday of a new month. I just want to jump on a little early, send out the notifications that I'm on live, and thank you for joining me today. We've made it to the end of another week, and I don't know about anybody else, but it's been a trying week just because there's just so much going on. And I'm going to talk about it later, but I really want us to take the time out to be kind and generous to one another. Listen, it's hard out here for everybody. I don't know anybody who's not struggling one way or the other. And when I say struggle, I don't just mean financially, I mean emotionally, mentally. There's just so much going on in the world. And I think that oftentimes we get so consumed with our issues and our things, which is fine, but we forget we need to have grace, because just like you're going through your thing, somebody else is going through theirs, and just that ability to have grace with one another is key. So today I just encourage you to have grace, because that kind of sort of leads into, and that's kind of sort of how I came up with this topic, was there just seems to be a lot of fake love in the world, or with people that I know, or I'm observing, I should say, and that there's performative love, and then there's authentic love. So let's get into it. And so today I want to talk about something that we've all experienced, whether we named it or not, the difference between performative love and authentic love. Because performative love is all about the appearances. It's a love that looks good on the outside, but doesn't always hold weight on the inside. Authentic love, on the other hand, is rooted, steady, and real. And again, this isn't about judgment. I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not calling out any relationships per se. But what I'm doing is bringing awareness to it. Because when we can see the difference, we can choose how we want to be loved, and how we want to love, and how we want to be loved. And so years ago, I was in a relationship with someone who would say, "I love you." But the actions didn't match. It looked good from the outside. We would smile, and we'd have pretty pictures for Facebook, and people on the outside of the relationship outside would think, "Oh, they're such a happy couple. Oh, look at them." But on the inside, I felt unseen. I wasn't heard. I wasn't respected. And that was performative love. Later, I experienced what authentic love was, but I also really began to understand what authentic love was when I began to love myself. See, that was the challenge, and we're going to get into this, but performative love is all about what the person does for you. And it's easy to fall in performative love traps when you are looking for validation outside of yourself. One of the first things that we can do when we're in performative relationships, when we're in relationships that are transactional, and we're going to get into that, first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is it about me that I need someone to prove to me, versus I just can't accept my love, accept that this is not what I want, and this is the love I need isn't performative, because you're performing for yourself. So what is performative love? Performative love is about performance, image, and transaction. It often shows up as saying the right words with zero follow through, public displays that don't match private reality, measuring love by doing. I showed up every game. I did this for you. I'm this for you. I did this for you. And keeping score. What have you done for me lately? When you have a performative love with somebody, or someone showing you performative love, it's all about what they're doing for you. Listen, if you've got to keep score in love with anybody, that's performative love. If you constantly have to say, "Well, I did this and I showed up at every game and I've supported everything you did," if I have to tell you that, then you, let me say it this way. I'm always grateful when people show up at my shows. I'm always grateful for anyone, whether I have one person or 15 people or 200,000 people. I'm grateful for every single one. I don't believe in telling someone, well, I'm a subscriber to yours, so you should be subscribed to me. No, that's not how it works. It's, if someone chooses to invest in me, if you choose to invest in somebody, that's a choice. But if you're putting into somebody else because you expect something back, then you are really a performer of performance love. You need a level of validation from other people versus you just do it because that's what you want to do. But if you got to keep score, that's performative love. And so when you think about social media and people posting grand declarations of love, but on the inside, behind closed doors, the relationship is cold, harmful, or maybe even abusive. That's performing love, because it's about being seen and not truly seen. It's about proving and not connecting. Have you ever felt someone's love was more about what they did, what they did for you, instead of who they were with you? Let me rephrase that. Have you ever been with somebody that's more concerned about how it looks and what you've done for them versus the substances of the relationship? I stay busy. And I'm just gonna be honest and transparent. I stay busy. I'm working on a project, 4 of them that mean the world to me, and you'll be hearing more about that in the next couple of weeks. I also am really living my life, my calling. I am a full-time health and wellness life coach. I have clients now. I talk on the phone or I'm video chatting 9 to 10 hours a day. After video chatting and talking to folks on the phone and everything, I don't necessarily am the person that wants to just have deep, long conversations on the phone all the time. Not now. That doesn't mean that I don't love people. That doesn't mean that I'm not engaging. But what that means for me is I want people to know that just because I don't talk to you doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you don't see me doesn't mean that I'm not present with you. Performative love means I got to show up, I got to talk to you all the time, I got to be doing this, I got to be doing that. And there's no grace in that. But if you love someone, and we're going to get into authentic love is more silent. You don't have to constantly prove. If you've constantly got to prove that you love somebody to love them, that's performative love. And that's a horrible, vicious cycle to get in, because you're never going to be able to prove your worth to them. Ever. You're never going to be able to prove your worth. So now that we know what performative love is, what is authentic love? Authentic love is about presence, consistency, and being. It shows up with actions aligning with words. Love that's steady in private, not just in public. Comfort in silence. There's no need to fill up the space with a bunch of busyness and a whole bunch of words. Love that says, I love you and I'm here with you, not look at what I did for you. And so I've been blessed that I've had people come sit with me in my roughest moments. When my mama was sick, and my Aunt Nita would just come and sit with me. Just sit. We wouldn't have to talk. We didn't have to have a whole bunch of conversation. But she would sit with me. That's love. That's not a, oh, I got to have a conversation. We got to talk. She came and sat with me when I needed her the most. Sometimes love isn't always being in each other's face. Sometimes it's the presence of knowing if I need that person, they'll text away. I don't have to talk to Renee. I say this a lot, but I don't have to talk to Renee every day. But if I drive by her house and I say, I need you, it's a wrap. Whatever she's doing, it's a wrap. And I will say this too. Real love is, when you really love somebody, does not mean it's absence of conversation. In other words, if you need something, you tell the person, this is what I need. Performative love says, well, you should understand this is what I need because I did it for you, so you should do it for me. That's performative love. You're expecting someone to give you what you gave them. And that's not everybody loves the same. That's performative love. Authentic love says, I need that person, and I'm going to let them know that I need them. I'm going to communicate with them and say, this is what I, want. Not what I expect, but what I want. One of the worst things you can ever do to someone is tell them, well, this is what I expect from you. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to this performative love and authentic love shows up and it demonstrates what you want from somebody. If I want people to respond to me, I respond to them. I just let people know, text me, call me. When you need me, I'm going to be there. It doesn't always have to be this, well, I showed up for you and you did this for me and I did this for you. There's no benefit in keeping score. And then you have to ask yourself, why am I keeping score with people who they say they love me? So how do we discern the difference? Because I've talked about it throughout the conversation. But there's practical steps. There's 5 practical steps that you can use to discern between love, fake love, real love, performative love, authentic love. 5 steps. Number 1, check the alignment. Do their actions match their words? One of the things that I do love about my friends and people who I'm close to, and people, just good people, is their actions match their words. Even when I don't have to talk to somebody all the time, but I can remember when I needed them. And I can pull upon the goodness of that relationship. So their actions match their words. When someone says, I'll be there for you, and they're there for you, when you can call them up in the midnight hour and they drop everything they're doing, their actions match their words. Notice consistency. Is the love steady or only when others are watching? Let me repeat that. Is the love steady or only when others are watching? I was in a relationship with someone behind closed doors. Again, we would argue. It was imperfect, but when you get in public, we're huggy, we're all hugged up, we're happy. But that behind closed doors, that love wasn't steady. It was so inconsistent. But when others were watching, it seemed like, oh, they're just a happy couple. No. It was limited. The love I received was limited to when others were watching. Number 3, examine the motives. Is this love about control, image, or genuine care? When someone has real love for you, it's not about the image. It's not about the control. It's genuine care. They genuinely care for you. Number 4, look inward. Am I offering this love to be seen or to truly connect? Am I doing these things for these people because I want to be seen, because I want to be recognized, because I want somebody to go, oh, look at how good, oh, how supportive this person is? Or are you doing it because you really want to connect? Oh, good morning, Miss Anita. Y'all know I love my auntie. So why are you showing up? Look inward. Why are you doing these things? If you're doing it because you're a nice person, then guess what? You don't have to validate. You don't need anybody else's validation. You don't have anybody to say, oh, I look at what you're doing it because that's what you want to do. And number 5, embrace stillness. Notice if the love feels steady, even when it's silent, not just action. So is our love steady if I don't talk to you every day? Is our love steady if we have an argument but we can navigate through it? Are we comfortable in silence? One of the best things, I heard my cousin Maya say this about her and her husband, is they can sit at home and be watching TV in the same room. They don't have to talk. They're comfortable in the silence. In the relationships that you're in, can you sit in stillness, or do you have to constantly be talking? Do you constantly have to be doing something? Do y'all constantly have to be going out or doing or can y'all just be comfortable sitting at home? next to each other, but not even talking. So you have to ask yourself too, am I sometimes performing love? Do I often offer performing love too? Am I showing up in ways that look good, but don't always come from a place of presence? And that reflection can be humbling and it can be freeing, because a true, authentic love starts with us. And so before you can ask anyone else, well, this relationship feels like performative love. Are you doing performative love? Is that what you offer? Are you saying, well, I show up and I do this for everybody else and I expect everybody else to show up and do it for me? Well, then you're not, that's performative love. You're expecting people to give you back the same level of actions that you give them. Authentic love says, I'm showing up because I really love you, because this is what I want to do, because I'm present. I don't keep score. So what's the difference again between performative love and authentic love? Performative love is about doing, proving, and keeping score. Authentic love is about being present and resting in truth. Performative love asks, what have you done for me? Authentic love says, I'm here with you, even when it's silent. And here's the day. And today I want to offer you this invitation. Choose to be authentic. Choose the love that doesn't need an audience. The love that shows up when it's quiet. Love that can be steady and true. Jump in the chat and let me know what you think about the difference between performative love and authentic love. Are you a person that needs constant reassurance that you're loved, so you constantly are keeping score? You're constantly seeing what the other person is doing for you. You're keeping score. I did this for them. I went to this. I participated in these events, but these people don't show up for me. A lot of times, again, this is where that grace comes in. Understanding that, yes, I may show up at every event for these people, for this person, but they may not show up for me. Okay, then now you need to look at the relationship, but also there's grace. What if the person is busy on the days that you have those events? What if a person is dealing with their own trauma and they can't participate in that moment because they're dealing with their own stuff? That's where that authentic love comes in and has that conversation and says, I needed you in this moment, and I felt like you wasn't there for me. And then maybe the person can say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you needed me that bad. Or I'm sorry that I wasn't able to attend that function that day. I had other plans, or I had a headache. But that's where communication comes in. And I feel like, particularly in today's society, people make a lot of assumptions. We assume that everybody thinks like us, and we assume that when we feel slighted, there must be something wrong with that other person, something wrong, versus give them some grace. Give folks grace. So that is the difference between performative love and authentic love. And I'm going to give my 2 love notes. My first love note goes to all of us. It is hard out here, and I don't do politics on this platform. That's not what I do. But I'm really, as a health life coach and someone who really wants people to be the best version of themselves, I'm very concerned about the level of division that this country is going through. And I want to remind us that it's never we versus them. It's always a us. And if it's we versus them, what happens when we need them or them need we? There's always going to be a time where when you get sick and go to the emergency room, you're not going to ask somebody, what is your political affiliation? What do you believe? You just want to get well. When you are needing that loan to finance your house, you're not asking, well, so what is you don't ask that, because you have something that you need and that person has the ability to give it to you. And so when we focus on when we stop talking about what they're different, and that divides us even more. So today I just want to encourage you to stay in the we. It is not us versus them. It's we the people, we together. And so I encourage you today, stop hating on other people who don't think like you. It is okay if someone doesn't believe what you believe. It's okay if somebody doesn't support what you support. Doesn't make them less. It just means we're different. And that's how we're all created. So stop with the us versus them, it's a we. Let's focus on the we. And with that, I'm going to read from one of my favorite scriptures. And if I offend somebody, this is where you can turn off. See how good that is? If you don't like me reading the word, then you can always leave. That's what's so good about it. This comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be still. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfection disappears. And I want to go down to the verse 13. And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Walk in love today, y'all. Give each other grace. And I hope everybody is 7/28. I want to thank you for joining me today. Whether you watch me live or you watch me later, just know that I value you and I truly love each and every one of you. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.